Many of my clients have arrived at the space where they realize earning six figures is not enough. Now, before you get upset and write nasty comments down below, I want to explain what I mean. I'm not saying that you should not strive to earn six figures or higher. I want you to strive to earn as much money as you desire, not as society desires, but as you desire. But I want you to also understand that as you're striving to earn six figures and beyond, that earning the money is not enough. We must shift into the space of not only earning six figures and beyond, but actually building wealth by earning the money and then keeping the money to build wealth. Because a lot of times what I'll see is people will earn six figures plus and they still aren't wealthy. And you say, Hyacinth, what do you mean by that? How could that be? Well, let me break it down to you like this. Earning is what you make. Wealth is what you keep and what you can multiply. So now when I say earning six figures isn't enough, because if you only focus on earning the six figures, that will keep you in the space of constantly having to trade time for dollars or having to go out and earn more money. But when you shift your mindset into, oh, I don't want to just earn six figures. I want to use the six figures that I earn to actually build wealth. And that means keeping some of it and growing it. How do you do that? First of all, let's talk about why people don't do that. A lot of times my clients will come to me and they're earning six figures plus. And when I'm looking at their expenses, and here's a fun fact, I encourage everyone under the sound of my voice to print out your bank statements. It is an exercise that I have all my personal clients do. And trust me, it is an eye-opening exercise. Notice I didn't say log into your app. I didn't say look on your phone or your computer. I want you to print out your bank statements. Print out your bank statements and go through them with a highlighter and a red pen and a blue pen and a green pen. And after you print out your bank statements, then come back and watch this video again. And then you'll understand even more why earning six figures isn't enough. Because a lot of times people come to me and they're earning well over six figures, but they aren't wealthy. They have no assets. You know, if they can't work, then they're out of luck, right? If something happens, if life happens, and life does happen, then they're going from earning six figures to earning nothing. And a lot of times this mindset comes from how we were raised to do money or how we did money as a child. Most times we don't think about how we saw our parents deal with money, how we see our spouses and our friends handle money. We don't realize the impact that it has on us. So when you think about earning six figures not being enough, what I'm really asking you to do is to make a mindset shift and say, what do I need to do to move from being solely focused on what I earn to building wealth? And building wealth is about what you keep and what you grow. One of the common reasons that people can't shift to building wealth is because, going back to those bank statements, overspending. And overspending leads me to the conversation of what I like to call lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is a fancy way of saying the more you make, the more you inflate your lifestyle, meaning you were making or living off or earning maybe $50,000 or $60,000, and you were doing fine. You were able to supply your needs and some of your wants. However, when you inflated the amount of money that you earned, you also inflated your lifestyle. And what happens is when people inflate their lifestyle, they engage in overspending. So this looks like making $60,000 and then praying, asking, begging, pleading to make $100,000, because if I only made $100,000, I would be able to do more. I would be financially free and abundant. And instead of using that extra money that you make, that surplus, to invest, to plant that seed and to grow and harvest, many people buy things. Many people spend their money. Many people inflate their lifestyles. They get the bigger house, they get the bigger car, they get the designer clothes, the designer bags, they get all the things that inflate their lifestyle, that contribute to them overspending, that keep them in the space on being excited about earning six figures instead of growing and building wealth. Now you see why I say earning six figures or more is not enough. That's not the goal. The goal is to shift from how am I taking this money that I'm earning and allowing it to work for me. This ties into the belief that you have to work hard for your money. You see how it started? We're starting to unpack this a little bit, right? Because if you change your mindset and you start to say, wait a minute, I don't have to work hard for my money. When I earn this money, I can then make my money make more money for me. That takes me out of this pile of people who are constantly overspending and puts me into the pile of people who are actually growing what they've earned to build wealth. Now that we've talked about the difference between earning six figures and using that six figures to build wealth, I like to call it the income to wealth gap. Now that we talked about that, we've also talked about lifestyle inflation. I want to give you some strategies and some tips and some things for you to do so that you can move to that space of letting go of being infatuated with earning six figures and actually focusing on building wealth. And the first thing I want you to do is to do a mini financial MRI. And I know that sounds fancy. All it is number one, printing out your bank statements. Print out your bank statements, and while you're at it, print out your credit card statements as well. As you print out your bank statements and print out your credit card statements and have that kumbaya moment with yourself, I want you to think about what your goals are. Think about what your desires are. Think about what financial abundance and prosperity means to you. After you print out your bank statements and your credit card statements and go through them, I want you to track your spending. Yes, I actually want you to track your spending for at least 21 days. If you could do it for 30 days, that would be great. The issue is most people are tapping and swiping. And when you're tapping and swiping, you're not in tune with your numbers the way that you need to be in tune with your numbers. Remember, this is a financial MRI. This isn't a ask Dr. Google, why is my arm hurting? This is an actual get into the machine, take the solution so that we can actually see what's going on. That's a little bit more involved than just Googling your symptoms. If you're going to do a financial MRI, you've got to actually do the work. You can't just say, oh, I know what comes in and what goes out. You got to actually say, let me track my spending. After you've gone through the process of printing and reviewing your bank and credit card statements, as you're in the process of tracking your daily spending habits, I want you to then commit to paying yourself first. Now, you may not be able to implement it now because you may be sending all your money out the back door. I want you to make that commitment and come up with a number that you're comfortable with committing to paying yourself first. That's my time. I'm Hyacinth Henderson. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Hey, Hyacinth Henderson here, just popping in to remind you that any information shared is information and education and not personal investing advice. Personal investing advice should be specific to you, and therefore you should seek proper financial counsel for personal financial advice. Thank you.